Hey everyone! Welcome back to Health Angel Solutions. Today we're going to talk about hypothyroid diet tips that you can use to help your body and thyroid function more effectively. I have 5 tips for you, so let's get started. First, in my opinion, and I believe this is probably common knowledge by now, you should consider the type or quality of food you're currently consuming when thinking about changing or improving your diet to help your thyroid. The greatest choice for you will be whole foods. The question isn't whether they're healthier than processed foods. We all know that the key to getting results from eating more whole foods is consistency, so even if you just do something for a short while, it's better than doing nothing. With that in mind, I've put together a list of 6 different whole food-based diets that you can try. I've personally recommended each one to thyroid patients and have seen success with each one. So the most important thing is to figure out what works best for you rather than assuming that one is better than the others. Thus, Whole30 is available. The diet of elimination, the paleo, keto, or carnivore diets. The AIP, or autoimmune protocol diets. And, once more, the gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free diets number 2. No matter what kind of diet you choose, you need to consider the quantity of food you're consuming. This has more to do with calorie restriction. I have seen success with all of these diets, so it's not a matter of which is better than the other. It's more a matter of figuring out what works best for you and what you can do with long-term consistency. Many thyroid patients experience weight gain. You may be one of these patients as you read this. Therefore, it can be tempting for these patients to cut back on calories because that's the general recommendation. Cut calories and you'll eventually lose weight. However, I'm here to tell you that thyroid patients shouldn't really be categorized with people who don't have thyroid problems because calorie restriction affects them differently than it does people with healthy thyroid glands. In the case of calorie restriction, what it does is lower T3 levels and increases reverse T3 levels. And if that sounds like a bunch of hoopla to you, it simply indicates that your body is producing more first T3, an antithyroid metabolite, and decreasing or losing more of the most active thyroid hormone. Though there is a difference between daily and intermittent calorie restriction, it is not something you want to do as most patients already struggle with low T3 levels. Instead, regardless of the quantity, make sure you're eating enough whole food to avoid doing this and harming your thyroid. That would be similar to fasting, and from what I've seen in my experience, not much evidence seems to support this. However, I can personally attest to the fact that daily calorie restriction is effective because I have worked with numerous thyroid patients. For example, if you were to cut your daily caloric intake by, say, 1,500 calories for 3 weeks or so, your thyroid lab test would show negative results. I wouldn't advise doing that, but you can avoid the negative effects of intermittent or prolonged fasting on thyroid function. As a result, if weight loss is your goal, focus more on fasting than on daily calorie restriction number 3. We know that inflammation is bad for the body as a whole, but it is especially bad for the thyroid because, like calorie restriction, it has the potential to lower T3 levels, which is something you want to avoid. However, you can change the amount of inflammation in your body by either adding certain foods to your diet, or better yet, by eliminating certain foods. Therefore, I would advise pursuing both of these options. Additionally, while some patients may experience inflammation from improper whole foods consumption, which I will address in a moment, if you're looking to reduce inflammation through dietary changes, you should focus on increasing your intake of fruits, vegetables, non-processed healthy oils, such as extra virgin olive oil and other foods. The healthy foods that have natural anti-inflammatory characteristics built into them include coconut oil, grass-fed butter, fish, nuts, and seeds. You may also try reducing inflammation by cutting out specific foods, some of which are whole foods. Thus, you'll understand what I mean when I say that thyroid patients typically respond best to eliminating gluten, dairy, processed foods, and seed oils are kind of a no-brainer in this regard. These are industrial seed oils, which are added to almost everything. As a result, one of the main causes of the unhealthy nature of processed foods and fast food is the presence of these added seed oils, along with items to which you may not respond well. Therefore, something might be odd, like potatoes or rice. Perhaps you don't react well to such foods, or perhaps you perform better with sweet potatoes. However, the next person might be flipped. Thus, eat to minimize inflammation by being wise about the foods you consume and the foods you avoid. Most people won't eat a pound of kale every day, but that's kind of the goal here. At number 4, we're talking about nutrients. Thyroid patients require a higher concentration of certain nutrients in their diets. And there's nothing magical about this. It's just that your body requires these nutrients more when you have a thyroid condition, which you can meet by consuming certain foods. Although I'd advise obtaining these nutrients from food as much as possible, you can also satisfy that demand by taking supplements. I've included here 6 different nutrients that thyroid patients require in greater proportions than the general population. I'll go through things first, and then I'll discuss foods that are high in them to help you understand the kinds of meals you can eat. Zinc iodine, tyrosine, magnesium, selenium, and iron zinc is necessary for many processes, one of which is the sensitivity of thyroid cells. When it comes to producing energy and facilitating the movement of iodine into and out of the thyroid gland, magnesium is beneficial for those with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Selenium is important for the immune system and for lowering antibody levels in patients with Hashimoto's disease. The synthesis of thyroid hormone requires iron. Tyrosine is necessary for the production of thyroid hormone. The synthesis of thyroid hormone requires iodine. All of these nutrients must be obtained in the right amounts, especially for iron and iodine, where excess consumption is advised. However, most diet patients do not get enough zinc, magnesium, or selenium from their diets. If you want to increase your intake of these nutrients, you can either eat oysters or steak. For magnesium, you can get those from pumpkin seeds or chia seeds. If you're looking for more in-depth information about hypothyroidism, I recommend watching my other videos on the subject. You can obtain selenium from tuna or Brazil nuts. If you prefer an animal source of iron, you can obtain it from liver, or if you prefer a more plant-based source, you can obtain it from nuts. Since tyrosine is just an amino acid, anything high in protein will usually have enough of it. But since animal sources of protein are generally high in tyrosine, you usually get what you need. Iodine, on the other hand, is an amino acid that can be found in a variety of foods and can be obtained from fish or yogurt. Finally, if these remedies don't work, you have to accept that while diet is important, it's not the only factor. I know that some people will be offended by this, but the truth is that you can only do so much with your diet. It won't be enough to address every issue your body is facing. Other aspects of your lifestyle can sometimes be even more significant than diet. Yes, you should always optimize your diet if you have hypothyroidism. But you also can't ignore the impact that stress has on your body as a whole. Supplementing vitamin deficits is one of those things that's really important because even if you can eat as much food as you want, sometimes you can't get that requirement every single day. Other lifestyle factors that might contribute to nutrient deficiencies include a lack of exercise. Thank you for joining us today on Health Angel Solutions. We hope these diet tips help you manage your hypothyroidism more effectively and support your journey to better health. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more health tips and wellness advice. Stay healthy and take care.